Just felt really clearly that I heard God say, hey, it's time. It's time to follow me. And so I walked out of that service just really feeling stirred up. And that was the moment for me, my junior year Christmas, where I started to open up my Bible, and I started to read some of the Old Testament stories, that are in there. And all of this information and memories from when I was in Christian school and elementary school started to flood back into my mind. I said, I know this stuff. Came out of high school, went to college, played football. I was still just a work in progress. My sophomore year is when I met my wife, and we started to get serious relatively quick. My wife started complaining about chest pain. Find out that she's diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So here we are, 27 years old, have our 11-month-old baby girl, and my wife just gets diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I'm thinking, gosh, what are you doing, God? That's really when I started to question what kind of riches I was chasing. Am I chasing eternal riches, treasure in heaven, or am I chasing riches that are temporary? And coming out of COVID, God just started to really stir my heart towards men's ministry. I got introduced to Men of Iron. And it was like a light bulb went off where I said, wow, here's an organization that is putting together relevant focused content towards men to help them grow. I moved down to the Outer Banks, had to go find a mentor, but I was new to Men of Iron, and I really had no idea what to do. One guy that I knew well down there was the pastor of Corolla Chapel, and his name was Jim Southern.
And it was encouraging that Travis was on this new adventure and that he was going to be a part of our community for a while.
And so I started to get to know Jim as I would be at church on Sunday. But the next thing I realized I needed to do is I needed to create my goals. And I couldn't ask somebody to mentor me if I didn't know what I wanted to be mentored towards. So that's when I went online and I watched our free video series called A Man's Game Plan. Each week, it provides an opportunity for you to set specific goals in your faith, your family, your friends, your fitness, and your finances. And it's a 5-week series. And so I did that. And so I went for it. I'll never forget walking into the chapel, and there was Jim Southern. And I said, hey, Jim, can I talk to you for a second? He said, sure.
And we eventually entered into that mentor-protege relationship.
Because as we started to walk through things together, Jim started to realize not only was I being challenged to change, but so was he. And we were experiencing this together, and we were coming closer and closer together as the weeks progressed. And one mentor that made a big difference in Jim's life was John Hobbs, who was a pastor of Liberty Christian Fellowship down there. And John impacted a ton of people, but Jim Southern was one man that had been hugely impacted.
There were times as my mentor, we walked together. And then there were times as my mentor, he carried me.
As a result of my mentorship with Jim, there's habits that I've established in my life that I didn't have before. Men of Iron as an organization is all about helping men establish habits in their life, like keystone habits, that if you get these few things right, everything else will be better. So that's what I feel like I've experienced as a result of the mentorship with Jim in regards to prayer with my wife, in regards to devotions with my kids.
I believe that men need mentorship. It's easy to feel like I'm the only one. I'm the only one who's having Christian values. I'm the only one who's facing these situations. I'm the only one. And to know that you've got someone that you can go to that can say, no, I've been there, I've done that. You're not the only one. It truly, truly helps.